back row.
I love you, Bobby.
Welcome to the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. On this episode, we chop it up with Moosh Da Street Preacher. We talk about gospel music versus Jodeci, our barbershop roots, when football doesn't work out, working with members of Blackstreet, work versus glamour, lessons learned through marriage, how his journey led him to God, and we check out his new music. Let's have a conversation with Moosh Da Street Preacher.
People say they love you, but it don't feel right. You try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like? Yeah. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. You try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like? Yeah. I think it's time that you let it go. You tried everything in this whole world except Holy Ghost. Promises were made, but they got broken like bloody notes. But Jesus rose to give you new life right off the showroom floor. You ain't know the highest bidder, he paid a price. You keep giving yourself away like you out there rolling dice, right? There's something more that he has in mind. Just give your soul to Christ and you'll know what real love feels like, yeah. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. It's your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like? Yeah. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. It's your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know is what love feel like. You wanna know, I can show you how. Jesus is the reason I ain't gotta keep living foul. Took my sins away and ever since I feel better now. Feels like he snatched the burden off my back that weighed me down. I'm free now, and ain't no other can top that. I'm hooked on the feeling, ain't no way I'm gon' turn back. Don't play like that. Rewind this message and play it back. You wanna know what real love is? His name is Jesus and he's coming back. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. You try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like? Yeah. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. You try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like? You wanna know what it feels like. Try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know. You wanna know what it feels like. People say they love you, but it don't feel right. You try doing it your way, but it don't turn out right. The only thing you wanna know, what does your love feel like?
What's good? What's good? 757. I got a treat for you guys today. I got my homie in the cut. We got Moosh Da Street Preacher in the house. What's good, homeboy?
How you doing, man? How y'all doing out there?
Yo, music is crazy, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate
I'm
doing
loving
something
it.
a little different. So I don't know how people are gonna receive it, but I'm glad to know that that you're feeling it, man.
Yeah, man, it's something that needs to be out there.
Yeah,
It's
for sure, man.
The modern day good gospel vibes. They
Yeah,
ain't
for sure.
necessarily gospel vibes. You know what I'm saying? R&B with a good message.
Right, exactly.
Because
that's what it is.
I'm on my old man stuff nowadays, and I always said I was gonna love the new music, but it's a struggle, bro. It's a struggle.
Yeah. Well, Well, when it comes to gospel, man, you know, as they say, the old saints say, if the anointing ain't on it, you know, it ain't gonna matter. It ain't really gonna matter what kind of spin you try to put on it.
Exactly.
But that being said, if it's anointed, you can utilize different genres and different sounds and everything. It's still gonna have that same power, you know, that it always had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always go back to my old standby, Aretha Franklin.
Oh yeah,
she was anointed.
Yeah,
but that anointed also let her get funky.
Yeah, for sure. You know, back in the day, man. I don't know if you remember, I was a big Jodeci fan.
Right. And the Haley brothers, a lot of people don't realize they started out a strict gospel family.
And I tell people all the time what you loved about them. You know, I mean, as far as the albums, Jodeci albums and R&B and that new sound, it wasn't new. It was it was just the church. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The church with some hip hop beats.
That's it. But you know, the world obviously not being accustomed to hearing that, to them it was a shocking type of sound. You know what I mean? And you know, and of course they loved it, so because it's from God. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Moosh goes back to he's a P-Town veteran.
P-Town, Southland, yeah.
Yeah.
The hybrid, little Suffolk P-Town hybrid there.
But third generation though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If people don't know, me and Moosh, we came up cutting in the barbershop together. It was a barbershop that his father owned, and his grandfather was the supreme barber in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson taught me how to cut with a razor, bro.
I remember that. Because you were always inquisitive too, man. You weren't the type that tried to pretend like, you know, oh, I got it all together or whatever. If you saw opportunity to grow, which I mean, it's even still true today, I see, if you saw opportunity to grow, you would take the opportunity. You would humble yourself and ask questions. And I remember that, man. I remember you asked him, could he teach you that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I felt that was a skill that, you know, a person in his position could teach me things that you can't learn out of a book.
Yeah.
And he did. He taught me the little trick with the angles and everything.
Yeah, man. And he was honored to be able to do it because you know that was at an advanced age. You know, he cut hair until he was 86.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think around that time, 95, he was probably about, you know, 84, 83.
82, something like that. Yeah.
So, you know, he was honored that, you know, that I think you would ask him to teach him that, you know. I do have one correction though.
Yeah.
The owner wasn't my father, but he's like a father to me. The owner's name was Edward Jones from Portsmouth, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, but you may have mistaken that because he took me under his wing and, you know, definitely was a father figure to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still keep up with him?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's doing good. I haven't spoken to him recently, but I still cut his grandson's hair. His son Ed and Boo, his sons. We're like brothers, man. We're all still close. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was a time, bro. That was a time.
Yeah, man. Awesome time, man. You know, I always say that was that second golden era of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so when people hear those influences in my music, they don't understand. It's like I'm not trying to put hip hop in my music. I'm a product. I'm a true product of that era. You know what I mean? So
that's what we were listening to in the barbershop.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember you leaving to go get that Jodeci Diary of a Mad Band album.
You know, I was the fifth member. You know, I thought I was the fifth member. So, hey, I had to, you know, do my part, man. Like, I was a big fan.
Banged it all day and made me leave and go to DJs and get my own copy.
Exactly. And the thing about it, you were the first person I know, period, in Portsmouth to have the Ghostface Killer the Raekwon the Chef album, Only Built for Cuban Links. Yeah. And you brought that in the shop and played that for me and Kenyon. You remember Kenyon?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. We talk about that all the time, man.
You still talk to Kenyon?
Yeah, man. We still talk.
What? Okay, I gotta get his number. I've been looking for him.
He's in Chesapeake, man. He's still a barber.
What? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that when this is over with.
Definitely. He never went back to New York. He stayed down here, man. Built a beautiful family, man. Kids doing good. Grandkids doing good. So yeah, man.
What? Grandkid? Whoa.
Yeah. I think he got. Well, I didn't mean to throw him under the bus, but yeah, I think he got like like maybe one grandchild, I believe. So yeah.
That is awesome. So
where did time go?
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was the mid-90s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mid-90s. No, nothing like it, man. We survived.
So you still in Portsmouth?
Well, I'm in Chesapeake, but
Chesapeake,
you know,
okay.
Yeah. I'm in Western Branch. I'm in the Western Branch area. So
yeah, that's still Portsmouth.
That's what I said. You know, yeah.
Yeah, that's still Portsmouth. Yeah, I know, right.
Western Branch, Churchland, all of Suffolk, North Suffolk. It's all in the same. We right on the line, you know.
So tell me a little bit about your journey, how you got to this point, because I knew you were singing back then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, catch me up with things. How did it go? Well, I can see how it went, but tell me how you got there.
Oh man, so many stories, man. We might not have no time on the podcast, but well, you know, when we knew each other, I guess we were what, 21 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had well, since about 17, when I was in high school, man, you know, we had the prerequisite 4 or 5 man R&B group, you know, because
Right.
Boys the Men and Jodeci was huge, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody had the group, you know what I mean, and thought they were going to be the next Boys the Men and Jodeci. So we were no different. Shout out to my fellas, all my peoples at Lakeland High School in Suffolk, you know what I mean? So we had our group. But as we were seniors and as time was winding down on that, you know, like you said, that was kind of like a fad, you know, for everybody to have groups back then.
Mhm.
But it was something in me that was, you know, I didn't want to let that go. That was something that was calling me, so to say, you know what I'm saying, when it came to the music. So after that, man, I just kind of kept it moving. I will say that group that I was in high school, we performed at Teddy Riley's first big talent show that he did at Princess Anne.
Yeah.
We were in that same show that Pharrell and Chad were in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pharrell and Chad, they were in the 18 and up category, and we were in the 18 and under category.
Okay.
So they won the whole thing. We came in like 3rd place in the 18 and under. So that was a great experience, you know, meeting Teddy and Rex and Effect and all those guys. Omar Chandler, you know, so we met all those guys. After that, I went off to college, went to Elon College in North Carolina.
Okay.
Played football, you know what I mean? Because I was a football player or whatever. Always had the music thing in the back of my mind, but I love football since I was a kid. Like I absolutely knew I was going to the NFL.
Right.
Mom, buy you a new house and, you know, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Even though I only weighed 150 pounds, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you couldn't tell me that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, went to school, had an injury, went to school to play football. So when I was injured and I couldn't really play anymore, went into a very, that coupled along with one of my favorite uncles passed away, actually violently, when I was 18 and when I was in college. That coupled with the injury definitely sent me into an emotional downward spiral, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because my uncle was definitely a father figure to me. I didn't even really realize it until he passed away, how significant he was in my life, you know what I mean? Because I'm just carefree, you know, you're a kid, you just carefree, like, oh yeah, everybody's always going to be here, whatever.
And then all of a sudden it got real.
It got real. It got real. And I'm telling you, even spiritually, I started having questions. You know, that was around that time where, you know, things started happening like that. I started questioning reality itself, you know. You know, growing up, I grew up in the church, you know what I'm saying? And it started to be like, is this real or is this just, you know what I mean? What they, you know, you just go along with your family and what everybody teaches you and everything's supposed to turn out right. That's the point I'm trying to make. Everything's supposed to turn out right. But things for me started to not turn out right. You know what I mean? And it was like, what's that all about? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I had a little downward emotional period during that time. Honestly, be honest with you, you know, around the time I met you, that's when I first started cutting hair with my granddad because I was at home doing nothing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When I left college, I dropped out of college, you know, and everybody on my mom's side of the family goes to college. Like you you got two heads if you don't finish college.
Yeah,
Like
I can relate.
literally, like
I can
bro,
relate.
you have two heads if you do not go to college and finish college. You know what I'm saying? So I was definitely on that black sheep type thing. You know what I mean? And so I'm home this time. You know, during this time, I'm smoking, drinking, the whole nine. Like you said, it's the '90s, man. You know,
Right.
Black Moon, Wu-Tang, you name it.
Right.
Redman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing all of that. And I remember being like 19 at my mom's crib and my stepdad. And I'm doing, like I said, I'm not doing anything with myself. And my mom was like, you know, you ain't gonna sit around here. You ain't gonna sit around here and do nothing, on my money, with my money, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she was like, she always knew I would cut my cousin's hair, you know what I mean, before, because we want to go to the parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we might be broke. So we'd be like, yo, I found these clippers, these old clippers, yo, cut my joint to the side, cut. You know what I mean? That's how I started cutting hair when I was 14. We were just trying to go to parties and dances, and we needed haircuts, and we ain't had no money, so we'd cut, we'd cook each other up. So she knew I did that, and she knew I cut a few hairs in college, because word would get around that I could do a little something. I mean, a little something, you know what I mean? Cutting hair. So this is going to be good, though, I'm telling you. That's why I'm bringing this up. So I was sitting around the house doing nothing every day, getting high, drinking and all that stuff. And she was like, you're not going to sit around here, do nothing all day. You're going to go down there and cut hair with your granddad.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, Sharp, my granddad is a legend.
Right.
He's a legendary barber in P-Town. Like,
yo, I got to eat off of him because so many people will come and the line will be long and they'll be like, all right, young buck.
Yeah.
Let me see what you can do. And it helped me that my chair was right next to him. So that kind of helped a little bit.
Exactly. You were good. You were in the front of the class. You know what I'm saying? With the teacher. So but long story short, man, I was like, Ma, there's no way I can't cut hair like that. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just messing around in the bathroom. I can't cut hair with my granddad. So long story short, she made me go, you know what I mean? And the rest is history as far as that's concerned, because not only did I get to build a relationship with my grandfather, who I met him when I was about 10 years old, because my dad wasn't in my life growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I met my dad and my granddad and all them when I was about 10. And long story short, let me see if I can put this together. How I said, if on my mother's side, if you didn't go to college or graduate college, you had two. When I met my granddad, everything made sense.
Okay.
Who I was made sense.
Mm-hmm.
The ways that the personality that I had and the desires that I had that maybe other members of my family that I grew up with, that they couldn't see that. They couldn't see why I was so different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I got with my granddad, it made sense because I'm a lot like him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as the entrepreneurial spirit, as far as the cutting, as far as, a lot of different things. So yeah, man, got there, became very, learned a lot from him and other barbers and became pretty good barber. You know what I'm saying? Around that time, I don't know if you remember a guy named Lamont that used to cut hair with us. But there was a guy around that time.
End chair next to the soda machine.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, because he was always hustling, so he was halfway there.
I think that was Lamont. But Lamont and he was a singer too. Uh-huh. And we formed a friendship. And so that kind of rekindled my hope of like, yo, we could do this, yo, put a group together.
Right.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Because we never let that go. Like you had a little downtime, but it's like, I'm trying to put a group together, you know what I'm saying? So me and Lamont got together and we ended up putting a group together. Mm-hmm. So around 1998, me and Lamont did shows, like local shows at clubs and a lot of things between that time that I knew that me and you worked together, like 94, 95, up to about 1998. Mm-hmm. Around 1998, our manager was a young lady named Tracy Milburn. Shout out to Tracy. Somehow she was able to get in contact with some members of Blackstreet. Okay. Yeah, which was Eric Williams. Mm-hmm. Well, one member, Eric Williams, and he had a business partner named Wesley Hodges. Mm-hmm. They were Jaheim's producers before
Okay.
Jaheim even they discovered Jaheim, put it that way. And they were in Chesapeake. They lived in Chesapeake.
Yeah.
Because Blackstreet was down here,
Yeah.
Teddy Rock and everything. So yeah, man. So she introduced us to those guys, and they took us under their wing, man. And it's a funny story because Jaheim was actually incarcerated at the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is before he came out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When we met those guys, we walk, we go into their condo, man. She's got platinum plaques everywhere. And this is in Deep Creek.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Deep Creek, yo. Like a condo in Deep Creek. Like I had no idea anybody from the music industry was in Chesapeake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we go up in there and we like blown away, man. We see all these plaques and everything. And like I said, another dude named Kent, who was a friend of theirs, one of their business partners, he took us under his wing, was trying to teach us a lot about singing and recording and things that we didn't understand, because we were just doing our own thing out here in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first experience with the actual music industry. And so they took us under their wing and they're like, you know what? We don't know what Ja's gonna do. They kept calling him Ja, like Ja. We don't know what Ja's gonna do, man. He's knucklehead up in Jersey. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He won't get his stuff together, blah, blah, blah. He's locked up. He's like, we're gonna let y'all do this album. You know what I'm saying? So we started working on that, but we still got 1 foot like in the street,
okay,
1 foot in the clubs. We trying to chase chicks. You know what I'm saying? We weren't mature. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I tell a lot of people that story because like Jaheim's first album could have been our album. Okay. Literally could have been our album. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we still maintain a friendship with those guys, but we missed that opportunity. I'm trying to make this story a little shorter.
No,
man.
Take your time, man.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Cool, brother, cool. Cause it's a lot, man. It's a lot, man. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of twists and turns, man. But long story short, I would say fast forward to these experiences are teaching me different things. I'm learning different things about the industry. I'm learning different things about the type of work ethic that you have to really succeed in any industry. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You can't just be like a pipe dream, man. It's a lot of sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like good story, man. When we were dealing with the dudes from Blackstreet and things like that, we had a preconceived notion that, every day, they wake up, they got the fresh gear on and driving Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And the girls everywhere, chains and necklaces. And I'll never forget, my man, the dude Kent used to tell us, man, like y'all gotta get out of that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that's all the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
we gotta put that work in.
Yeah. And when I say work, I mean work, yo. They would be up to 5 o'clock in the morning making beats. They would call us in at 5 o'clock in the morning, like, all right, y'all ready, ladies vocals? We like, huh?
Right.
Ready to lay vocals. Got to go to bed, you know what I'm saying? And this is every night, all the time, you know what I mean? But that's like, that's the type of sacrifice they made, to maintain their position in the industry, you know what I mean? It's nonstop work, you know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot of those principles, like hard work. Oh yeah, and it was nothing to see dudes in there. I mean, with the same clothes on for 3 days, bro.
Right.
Now, I'm not advocating, not taking bad. I'm not advocating, staying up to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right, but that's the grind.
But it's the grind.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I ever been introduced to that. It was like a cognitive dissonance because in my mind it's supposed to be glamorous and you know what I mean?
Right, right.
I didn't know it took real work. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know we weren't good enough yet. I thought, oh man, because we, in Portsmouth and other people were gassing our head up, we were pretty good, right? Nah, it was a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Recording is a whole different level. So they started to teach us those things, teach us about pitch, you know what I mean? And staying in key and different things like that. So long story short, I learned a lot from that experience. Then that was like 97, 98. Around 1999, I moved to Florida and I got with an independent label. Oh my God, called Finesse Records. I almost forgot the name of the record label. Shout out to my man Ski. My man Albert Skeeto Ortiz was the CEO of that label. and we formed a great friendship as well. And to this day, he's still like a big brother to me. You know what I mean? Right now, he's dealing with Rock Nation, Rock Sports. He's has a very lucrative career as far as being an agent is concerned and everything. So I got with him down there. The same thing, man. Just learning different things about the music industry. I was an artist down there, solo artist for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That didn't quite pan out. My whole story is a lot of seeing over into the promised land,
right?
But never getting not able to step my foot over into the promised land. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of those, experiences. So yeah, man. Down there in Florida, man, learned a lot more from being a solo artist and what it took to be an artist, and came back to Virginia. And I would say around 2002, this was probably my biggest break. Mm-hmm. Around 2002, I'm trying to see how it came about. Me and a good friend of mine, another great producer named Alonzo Justice Williams, and an engineer named Cornell Spirit, we call him Spirit, Cornell Barlow, we were able to become interns at a huge studio in Virginia Beach called Unique Recordings.
Okay.
Now, Unique was, and I'm gonna show you how everything comes back full circle. The owner of Unique was a producer named DeVell McKenzie. DeVell is first cousins with Chauncey Hannibal, Chauncey Black from Blackstreet.
From Blackstreet, right?
Yeah. So DeVell, we call him Bo. Bo is his little cousin, and Chauncey kind of groomed him and brought him in on projects, and he got placements with Blackstreet based on Chauncey. Amazing keyboardist, amazing. Like, God has allowed me to be around the most amazing talent you could ever imagine.
Right.
And he's from the church too. Well, of course. But when I say amazing, his nickname is 99 Fingers. That's how crazy he is. So DeVell and then his partner is a guy named Sprague Doogie Williams. So they were partners. Sprague was pretty much Teddy Riley's right-hand man at Future Records as far as engineering and production. A lot of Dave Hollister stuff they produced, Carl Thomas, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, we were able to become interns in that spot. And that's when God really shaped and molded like what I would become musically. You know what I mean? The same thing as far as work ethic, what I was telling you before, but this was my first time outside of the Jaheim situation. This was my first time really, really being around stars,
right?
And people who were where I wanted to be. Like I said, Bo produced for, like I said, Dave Hollister, Carl Thomas, Mary J. Blige. He won a Grammy for Mary's breakthrough album, a song called Alone on Mary's album, The Breakthrough, which broke all the records and everything. And I got to see these songs from start to finish being made. I got to see artists coming in. I don't know if you remember Rough Ends?
Yeah.
No more shopping sprees.
Yeah.
No more, all that.
Yeah.
Hang with those dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? They come in the studio. Like, this studio was dope, man. We had all types of artists coming in and out. You know what I mean? And so, and that's also where I met one of my biggest inspirations. Even before I met him, he was my favorite producer. And his name is people know him as Bink Dog or Bink, out of Norfolk, Virginia. He is the, people don't know this, but he was the curator of that whole Blueprint sound, the Blueprint albums from Jay-Z.
Okay.
My man Bink was the established producer on that roster, and Kanye and Just Blaze were pretty much his understudies. I mean, and so he was already established, and they were coming in, and so they, long story short, they signed with The Rock, but Bink, him being already established, he didn't sign with Rock Nation, Rockefeller, so he didn't receive the promotional push that they would receive, obviously, with them becoming in-house producers for Jay-Z or whatever. But do your research. If y'all want to, everybody out there want to do their research and Google Roosevelt Bink Harrell, you'll see he is one of the most prolific producers.
I think I just got a shirt this weekend with his name on it.
Yeah, man.
It has all of the it's a dope shirt. I'm showing it to you one day. It has all of the 757 producers on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Beak is the first name on there.
Bruh, I can't state it enough, man. Like he, Don't Leave, Blackstreet, the song Don't Leave. Mr. Cheeks, Lights, Camera, Action.
Yeah.
Like I said, The Ruler's Back, Jay-Z, Mama Loves Me, Jay-Z. The last Rick Ross album, Santorini, Greece. I mean, it goes on and on, man. Like it goes on and on and on. But long story short, at Unique Recordings, at this new studio I was telling you about, is where I first met him, and we formed a friendship. And I'm telling you, man, God is good. Like, this was me forming a friendship with someone who I idolized before I ever knew him. I mean, I didn't know I was gonna meet him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not only I met him, like our friendship isn't even based on music, And I'm mentioning that because that's kind of how my life is going. God had to really show me that my purpose in people's lives and people's purpose in my lives rarely was going to be what I wanted it to be.
Right. Okay.
More meaningful than that, And I had to be willing. Basically, you got to be willing to sacrifice what you want for what God wants to be blessed in a situation. Exactly. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because some people sometimes when they know I'm cool, me and Bink are cool like that. Yo, why you don't get with Bink and blah, yo? It's not even like, yo, bro. Our relationship is deeper than that. When Bink on the phone, we talk about real stuff. You know what I mean? Real situations, family, and you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that's kind of how that goes. But long story short, okay, I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to stay on point here. So I'm at Unique, and okay, so I'm doing my thing there. A lot of close calls again. When I told you, I've had a lot of situations where I get close to the promised land, and it's like something foils my plan. You know what I mean? So that's where I also met my current business partner. My current business partner is a guy named Maurice Tornilla, and we call him First. His nickname is First. First was managing, during this time at Unique Recordings, First was managing a young lady, a gospel artist named Thelma Guyton. She wasn't a gospel artist at the time. As a matter of fact, she was an R&B artist on Bad Boy. Sean, I know you're a music connoisseur. Do you remember the Bad Boy in the Family song called You? Times of trouble, Lord, I call
Was it on the compilation album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With Faith and 112.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But that was Thelma. Thelma was featured on that song.
Okay.
And so that's where I met First. And that's what he was doing at the time. So we would see each other at the studio. We were cool, you know what I mean? But First is like the ultimate hustler. Like First is always moving in and out, talking fast. You know what I mean? And so I used to look at First, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still from Virginia, man. So it's like, I love my up top dudes, but sometimes they be talking fast, I'm like, I'm just looking.
Right, yeah.
He moved in a certain way that I wasn't completely comfortable with, embracing him, you know what I'm saying? So long story short, as I let's say this, as my tenure at the studio wound down, because the studio actually ended up closing or whatever, as it wound down, we were all cool. We kept in touch and everything. I went off and got married, you know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, that was my second marriage.
Okay.
I'm on my third marriage now, so thank you anyway.
Right.
Thanks for the congratulations. But nah, that's a good friend of mine, man. We didn't make it, but we good friends. But when I got married, man, I kind of been through so much, man. So many close calls and hitting and missing, like I was telling you. I was just ready to be done, man. Just done with the music, you know what I'm saying? I met every celebrity you want to meet, you know what I'm saying? All of that. Like I thought when I was growing up, I thought is, all you gotta do is just get around. If I just get around this celebrity or this producer, they're gonna give me something.
Right.
That's a lesson. Nobody gives you anything.
Right.
And I know it's cliche, but anything worth having is gonna It takes a lot of work.
Right.
You got to earn it. I didn't know certain people looked at me as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, I'm here now and I'm talented.
Right.
Give me a record deal. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it don't work like that. That's what, and God has shown me those things. You know, he's taught me every step of the way the principles associated with my experiences. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. So as that wound down, I got married. Okay, I'm on track now. I know where I'm at now. So I got married. I thought for sure, bro. I was like, this is the love of my life. I was like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over this girl, man. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I was like, yo, this is it. You know, I want to tell the world to be loved, to be loved.
Right.
And long story short, that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case. We learned a lot together. We learned a lot about. She was similar to me. We were very much alike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Both of us had tried our best to be in the streets and live the street life and glamorous life and chasing this and chasing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And our time together was a time where I think God sat both of us down and taught us who we were through each other, you know.
Okay.
Through our tumultuous relationship, he taught us who, and so I always give that relationship credit because I went in one way and I came out another way for the better. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. But it was hard. When we got divorced, that was the hardest thing I'd ever been through in my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I got to share this with you, and share it to the audience. What happens when you put all your faith in something other than God? That thing can literally destroy you.
Okay.
It can literally destroy you. Mm-hmm. And even though my ex-wife was a great person, I think my faith was in that relationship. Mm-hmm. Because it was everything I thought I wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, when you get everything you think you want, it's like you just let go. Like, oh yeah, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So all my faith was in that relationship. And so the enemy of our soul, man, our adversary, you call it the devil, he will snatch the rug out from under you. Once he gets all your marbles in the same place,
right, you pull it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And I was a person who would never. I look down on people who express that they're suicidal, or I'm like, well, they need to toughen up. You know what I mean? Or
right.
They don't know the Lord good enough. You know, it's like, oh, that's unfortunate for them that they will become suicidal. Oh wow. What's missing in their life? You know what I mean?
I kind of feel like, and not to take anything from anybody in that position, I kind of feel like, you know, the Lord brought me too far to just give up that way.
Oh, for sure. And I feel the same way. But the point I do want to make is I felt the feeling. Mm-hmm. I felt the feeling. I was confronted with it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I literally, for the first time in my life, was confronted with that actual feeling and that notion. Because before that time, that notion had never even popped in my mind. Like, what?
Right.
So that was the depths of the sorrow. You know, it means literally the sorrow that I felt. You know what I mean? And so that was strange. You know what I mean? Because now I'm questioning. You know, when you're faced with something you think you would never be faced with in that regard, you got a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through a lot, man. I was on my cousin's couch. You know what I'm saying? You know, the whole, I had to move back with my cousin on his couch, and you know what I mean?
Right.
I was so bad, I'll never forget, but I remember one of his, because he had a lot of girls and stuff or whatever. They come by and they'd be looking at me. I remember one of his little girlfriends came by and she put me on the painter. It's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? I was just like caught up in a ball, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was caught up in a ball. And long story short, man, I got to a place where that was just real hard on me, man. Real hard. I didn't have the answers. I didn't know what to do from that point, to get myself back together. And I have a good friend of mine. He's a pastor now named Quentin Saunders. You know what I'm saying? I call him Suge. I never forget. He's one of my customers. You know what I'm saying? As far as the barbershop. And I knew I could trust him and talk to him because I knew him to be a man of integrity. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget, man. I was like, after I cut his hair one night, I went outside with him, and I told him, I said, Suge, man, like, I'm tired, man. I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really the type to ever tell nobody I don't know what to do. In my flesh, that ain't my characteristics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Some might say kind of prideful and arrogant at times. You know what I'm saying? Especially back then. So, and I never forget, man. And he was like, I told him what was going on. He knew what was going on, but he didn't know the depth of how depressed I was. You know what I'm saying? So I shared that with him. And this is how I learned about, yo, Sean, you still there? My bad, buddy.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
Let me get my stuff together here. So yeah, this is how I learned about what a God instruction is. Suge helped teach me a principle that is called following a godly instruction. You know what I mean? It's a lot of cases of that. It's a lot of instances in the Bible where prophets or whatever gave someone a godly instruction that may have sounded a little weird or whatever, but when they were obedient to that instruction, you know what I mean? They were blessed and they saw a breakthrough in their lives. You know what I mean? So he listened to me, and I never forget. He asked me, "You been praying?" I'm like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? He like, "You been reading your word and stuff?" I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been reading the word. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going through this and this and this and this and this. And he said, "Yo," you mad at God, ain't you? I said, my first reaction was like, nah, I can't be,
Okay.
I know better than to be mad at God.
How dare I?
Mad at God. But as I sat there, and he just looked at me. He was just looking at me, smiling, and I had never thought about it. I was mad at God. I was upset and disappointed in God because that marriage and everything that I ever wanted that I was talking about, I thought that was it, and I couldn't understand. In my mind, I never would say it, but in my subconscious or whatever, I think I felt that God had to be, to blame. You know what I mean? For him to take that from me. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, Sean, give me one little second here, buddy.
Go ahead.
Give me one second, man. I don't want to blank out on you, bro. I'm on the move, man. I'm always on the move here. All right, so yeah, man. So he helped me understand that I was upset with God, and that wasn't, God wasn't gonna strike me down with a lightning bolt because of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he's not. First of all, he's not scared of us. You know what I mean? God ain't scared of you, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
So whatever emotions you have, whatever questions you have, whatever bones you have to pick with God, he's willing to hear you out. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it pleases him. It pleases him for you to come to him being real.
Right. Right.
Not being pious because everything is okay, or I went to church Sunday. Hey, I'm good to go. No. He wants to talk to you.
Exactly.
He wants to talk to the inner man. He wants to talk to the real Moosh, the real Sean. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, that's what he encouraged me to do. He encouraged me to be real with God. Don't hold back. Be real with him about your emotions. And then he gave me a godly instruction, man. He told me, he said, every night before you go to bed for like the next 3 nights or something like that, he was like, read your word. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be much. He said, just open your Bible and read your word. He might have said 3 nights. He might have said a week. I can't remember. But he said, yo, just do it, okay? He was like, just do it. I was like, I said, I'll do it. I'm desperate, man. I'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll do whatever. I'm like, yo, I know God is real and everything. I ain't really into no spooky stuff. Right. Be honest with you. At that time, I'm like, but I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know what good it's gonna do. I'm telling you, I've been in here dying in here. You know what I'm saying? This is my thought. Like, oh,
Right.
okay. All right, Pastor Suge. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. So I at my cousin's house before I hit the couch. Before I hit the couch for the night, I would get my Bible and I would open it up and I would read. You know, I can't remember what I was reading, but I would read some scriptures. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel no different. Don't feel no different or nothing, bruh. Second night, same thing. I think he may have told me for a week or something like that. Do it for a week.
Okay.
But on like the third night, that feeling I was telling you about,
mm-hmm.
that feeling that I would feel better. Like I'm trying to describe this feeling, and I know it's kind of, it's hard for people to understand. Like, I felt like everything would be better if I just didn't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That it wasn't like I'm gonna go get a gun and I'm too scared. I ain't doing that to myself.
Right.
That's my mentality. I'm not going to jump off a building. No. I do love God and I do love my family, but I think I'd be okay with it if I just didn't wake up.
Okay.
I never forget thinking that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this was this pain I had on the inside, man. I can't describe it. It was just this void, this emptiness I felt. And I don't think it was just the ex-wife situation. I think it was a culmination of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the disappointments and the rebellion, just everything about myself.
Everything just kind of came to a head.
Came to a head, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't forget, that was like that third night, man. And I remember that thought. I had that thought. And I had the Bible. I'm reading the Bible. And I had that thought. And I never forget, I woke up. I had fallen asleep with my face in the Bible.
Okay.
I never closed it up.
Okay.
I fell asleep with my face in the Bible. I woke up and I was a different person. I woke up, I was totally free from the pain and all this, everything. It was gone. It was completely gone. It was completely gone, bro.
Nice.
Never forget it. And I had nothing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I had my clothes, but I didn't have a crib anymore. I didn't have, whatever. I didn't have anything. And I never felt that's the most freedom I've ever felt in my entire life. I was totally free.
I know that's right.
Yeah, man. And I never forget, God told me, this is what I heard in my spirit, said, don't forget where you are. In your spirit. Don't forget this feeling of being at the bottom,
mm-hmm.
on your face,
mm-hmm.
with nothing. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it like, yo, don't forget what I did for you. Not that.
Right.
He was saying for my own good, don't forget where I met you.
Okay.
Don't forget where I came to see about you. It wasn't at the heights of some kind of success. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't at church. It was right here on this floor. You have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You are abandoned. You don't have anybody. You know what I mean? So, and the best I can tell you, Sean, was from that day forward to this day, he fed me and he restored me. He rebuilt me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he fed me like hand to mouth from that place to where I am today, which is a husband, father, measure of success.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Spreading the gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No longer a womanizer. No longer, thrill seeker. You know what I mean? No longer a self-medicator. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No longer a liar. These things that I was. Now, and I wasn't a bad person.
Right.
In my Sean,
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that after I play this next song. I got something I'm gonna bring up from the past.
Yeah, man. So it's like people don't understand what the love that God has for us, man. It's not like, we're just like everybody else out here. Like, hey, I'm not killing nobody. I'm not, but it's deeper than that.
Right.
there's a peace that God will give you, man, that's deeper. It's his peace. It's the word. You have the world's peace and the world's way of doing things, and the world's way of coping, the world's way of achieving, the world's way of coexisting with people, and all these things that seem, it's okay.
Right.
God is not okay. God is magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And if I'm not trying to preach it, I'm just saying if you tap into that,
how do people say, go ahead and let them use you. Go ahead and let them use you, bro.
it's a greater life, man. And that's the song you played, What It Feels Like. That's where that came. It's like people say they love you, but it don't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We, you know how it is. We out here single, whatever. We, trying to find love, and ain't nothing never enough. Not even in our marriages is not enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not in our marriages. There's only one love, man. There's only one love that can satisfy us. You know what I mean? That can give us. There's only one love that can enable us to truly love others the way we would like to. The way we would like to love our children. The way we would like to love our spouses, our mates. We all want love, and we all want to give love, but we just don't know how.
Right.
And that's all. God is the way, man.
So,
but I got off track, but go ahead, man.
So on that note, I want to play another song.
Okay.
I think I'm going to play The Way.
Man. Yeah.
Tell me about The Way. Did you write it?
Yeah. I wrote, produced, and performed that whole album.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything you hear on that is me, man. Engineered, produced. The Way, similar story, man. Similar story. All my stuff now is just about pretty much the goodness of God, man. I was going through a certain time, last year. When did it? A couple of years ago, going through some times, some rough times or whatever. Was trying to find some answers. And I never forget, I went to Walmart, man. I went to Walmart to go shopping. I'm a night owl, so it was like 12 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Okay. So went to Walmart, sat in the car, man, before I went to Walmart. Just kind of, how you just sit in the car before you go in the house, before you go in the store, you just kind of like, just trying to get it together.
Right.
And God gave me that song, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's play this for the 757.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Moosh, the street preacher, and this is The Way.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. This is a DJ Moosh Mills exclusive. Words can't express the way that I feel. My soul's overjoyed at what the spirits reveal. All that I am and all that I have, it all belongs to you. Your wish is my command. Let's go. Oceans of love surround me, overflowing. I feel it in my soul. Shut up in my bones like fire. I just gotta let it go. I want the whole world to know it's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. 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 It's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. The way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. In these trying times, the Lord is mine. Thank you, Jesus, for all you've done. You saved a wretch like me when I was doing wrong, so wrong. No greater love, no matter what. Glory to the Father, Spirit, and the Son. Oceans of love surround me, overflowing. I feel it in my soul. Shut up in my bones like fire. I just gotta let it go. I want the whole whole world to know. It's the way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. The way that you love me. Shout out to all the churches around the world. Time to come together, Shout out Marcus Rogers. The way that you love me. It's the way that you love me. The way that you shout out David Lamb. Yeah. The way that you love me. No, it's the way that he love me, can't explain. It's beyond me, ain't a thing you can tell me in this game. Since a puppy through the pain and the struggles call his name, and he hear me even when I'm at my very worst. He forgive me, I'm a flamethrower when I spit this word. You can feel me. I ain't talking about what I heard. This is really real life, so you know it's only right when you see me. I hit you with that same energy. It's the way that you love me. The way that you love me. This is how it's going down. It's going down. The way that you love me. A brand new sound. Jesus is the way, truth, and the light. The way that you love me. Better get it right. Better get it right. Call it on God. Time to stand up. Stand up. Yeah. All that I am.
Bro.
Yo.
There's one thing I'm loving the originality, man.
I mean, the whole thing about originality is, man, that's the purpose. That's God's purpose in each of our lives. That's the problem with the church. I'll go ahead and say it. That's the problem with gospel music. That's the problem with secular music. It's like you gotta fit in the box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not designed to fit in no box. Nobody. In any industry, any area of life. We're what they say, we're designed to be to change the temperature, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not conform with the temperature that's already there, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, listening to that, man, I was just sitting here thinking, like, that's really what my purpose is. It's like God developed me and my musical style and my musical experiences and all that. He developed it so that I could be a vessel that could communicate his truth to people in a way that they understand, you know what I mean? Or that they can feel that's not so, conform to ritual and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because God's trying to break people up out of that stuff, man. Like God is accessible. You know what I mean? He's not like me, yo, bro. And I'm gonna say this in the most humble way possible. I was a cool dude, bro.
Right.
Like I know what cool is. Like, hey, bro, trust me. Like, to the audience out there, like I ain't just talking. Like in that song, I said I ain't talking about what I heard. This is really real life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like we don't have to, because when we put God over here, like God is over here. Here's my everyday life, my regular life. Here's my life. And then, okay, I gotta put my suit on and watch my mouth and go to church. That's cool, but that's so not the extent of what God wants for our life. He wants to be an ever-present influence every day, every minute, every hour of your life. You know what I'm saying? So that your life can be better. You know what I mean? We don't have to be scared of that. That's what I represent. You see, I got my, shout out to my man Tim, my affiliated gear. I'm regular, B. I'm a regular dude, like, and I'm gonna be regular. You know what I'm saying? God has given me that mission and that purpose to be regular.
Mm-hmm.
He's God. I'm not God. So I don't have to try to look like anything for you.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
And I'm just saying, that's what God is doing in this season right here, man. It's like He's gonna show you the real power. He's gonna show you the real power that He has in people's lives, yo. It ain't gotta be a show.
Right.
Reality is better than a show. You know what I'm saying? That's why reality TV is hot. You know what I'm saying? It's reality. Right. I'm trying to show people that God is real, B. That's all. He's real. Like, He's real. Like, it ain't about me. It ain't about you. It ain't about do it this way, do it that way. He's real. He was here before us, be here after us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, something I want to bring up. Something I want to bring up. Been on my mind for a little while.
Go ahead, bro.
So it was a time when I was down and out. For whatever reason, I lost my car. I lost access to my car. I don't know if I made my parents mad, if I wrecked it. I don't even remember what it was. But we was working at the barbershop, and you had just bought a car. And you
that Nissan?
Yeah.
That red Nissan,
yeah. And then you had the Ford, the Escort.
Okay. I don't even remember, but yeah.
It was a hatchback. It was a hatchback Escort. It was a stick.
I had a lot of hoopies now. Everybody else probably wasn't.
So you was like, go ahead, man. You know, you got to get back and forth to work. Go ahead and borrow the car. Yeah. You don't remember it? Oh, bruh.
Nah, yeah.
Okay, so you let me borrow the car, right? And this was like a Friday. And like, so I don't know how I've been getting back to work, but I had not been anywhere. So after we got off work, I called my buddy Jamal. I'm like, let's swing out to the beach. I got wheels. Let's go ahead. He was like, all right, let's go to the beach. And this is, mid-90s, back when we was a little young and wild. Yeah. Didn't know no better. But I'm not going to say we was wild. I'm going to say a lot of things we were doing, we didn't know any better. We should have known better, but we didn't know any better.
I knew a lot better.
Look, on the real, I knew better too. If my mama listened, I knew. I just did my thing.
Give me calling, son.
So we go down to the beach, and something happens, and we get pulled over. This dude had a revolver in his pants.
Wow.
Right. So cops pull us over. Yeah, it could have turned out way left, especially with the climate of the cops and all that stuff. It could have turned out way left. But they took my boy to jail. They impounded the car and left me out there.
Wow. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember now that you say that, I remember that happening. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I wasn't even worried about me being stuck out the beach or my boy going to jail. Oh man, they got my boy car. What am I gonna do about that? What are we gonna do about that? So I'm walking on the beach. I happen to bump into one of my homeboys. I get a ride back. I call you the next morning. I'm like, man, we was out the beach. Like, I couldn't even bring myself. I didn't even want to say it.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that, yeah.
They got your car, bro. And if we don't get it by Monday, they're going to charge us twice the money.
Yeah. That's like one of those Friday episodes, something you see on Friday or something.
Right.
Smokey, what you doing, Smokey?
But you were so cool about it, and you didn't trip about it. And I always want, I don't know if I ever thanked you, so I want to publicly say thank you because I learned. I mean, we went in half and paid the, even though you weren't even there, we went in half and paid to get it out of the impound. Yeah.
Man, like, let me tell you, man, like, that's the sadness. That's the whole thing about living a life that's not really designed for you, because no matter what, like I used to do or whatever, God always had his hand on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like those things never mattered to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, I was just saying, I was chasing the things that shouldn't be in my life.
I was like, my man, he gonna fight. It's gonna be a problem. Get fired from the barbershop.
Nah, man, because like you were cool, man. Like this, I mean, on some regular stuff, like you were cool, bro. Like, yo, you don't even understand. I can put my cousin Carter. He was the fact that you let us all listen to that Cuban Links album. that alone gave you a pass, bro. Like, that's how it was. You're like, yo, nah, that's Sean. Yo, Sean, cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nah, you were cool, bro. Like, nah, man. And I you know, I'd always been blessed, and somebody always helped me, man. I had a lot of big cousins that were like my big brothers. I ain't never had to fight in high school. I ain't never had, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And, you know, speaking of that, I know it's cliche, but that's what we need to get back to, man.
Yeah.
We need to get back to Black people having each other's back, bro. All people, but specifically our community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not letting petty things divide us. You know what I'm saying? Because look at that. That was a blessing to you. Look, 20 years later, whatever, you blessing me, man. You helping me promote my music. You know, it all goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. All right, so before we get long-winded again, I'm gonna play one more song.
Yeah. I'm
gonna play Mandatory X.
Yeah.
What you got? What's your story that goes with that? Because you know every song has a story.
Yeah, actually, I got it probably titled wrong, but it's really just mandatory.
Okay.
But mandatory is just speaking to, man. When I made this album, I never. Let me just say this real quick. I never cared to do a gospel album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounded like, yeah, I'm gonna do a gospel album one day. Like, that won't really me. I really never been a churchy dude, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I kind of some things about the gospel industry or whatever I don't care for.
Mm-hmm.
So I never wanted to really do that. God showed me some things, long story short, this was a couple years ago. And he showed me his purpose and what he wanted me to do through this medium. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because of everything we're going through, because of all the ills of society, everything that's going on. That's what mandatory is. It's like, yo, I know what I got to do now.
Okay.
I'm ready to do what I have to do. You know what I mean? I've been running from it. God showed me it ain't got to be how nobody else did it, but I need you to do it. Mandatory. And that's all it is, man. It's mandatory.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, mandatory.
The God that I serve loves sinners and makes them into saints. He doesn't keep them sinners, he turns them into saints. And that's the importance of the death of Jesus Christ. The death puts to a burial, removes the problems or the situation that blocks you from God, and it makes a crossroad. It gives you an opportunity. In fact, there is no condemnation to them that are in Christ Jesus.
When I think about the life that he gave me, when I was deep in my sins, he forgave me. When I was deep in the streets acting crazy, he still held me in his arms like a baby. Looking at my wife and kids, it's amazing that he saved a wretch like me when I was flagrant. Long suffering, great in his patience. Never wavering, great is his faithfulness. We love you, Jesus, for the grace that you gave us. It's the faith in your name that will save us. It's your name we proclaim to the nations. In God we trust is more than just an empty statement. To you we give all the honor and the glory. Heavens testify to the truth of the story. Shine your light on us forever, we adore thee. I know what I must do, mandatory.
Old things have passed and all things have become new. God doesn't remember your past. Why? Because it's dead. What God remembers is the death of his son, his righteous son. And when God sees you, if you're born again, if you have accepted Jesus Christ, what God sees is not the wretched old sinner that you used to be. He sees Jesus inside of you. Inside of you. Inside of you. Inside of you.
Pay attention to the signs of the times. It was all written way before our time. In the winter field just like summertime. And sin is now our national pastime. Telling people about Jesus is a crime. You can't even spank your kid's backside. Everything on TV is all lies. And some leaders look like Satan in disguise. Lord, save us from the wrath that's to come. Help us put the phones down and wake up. Don't trust in your money or your stuff, cause you can't take it with you, sure enough. Help us separate the love from the lust, deceit from the trust, the spirit man from the dust. And we'll be sure to give you all the glory. I know what I must do is mandatory.
Look at Peter, a foul mouth, faithless person who thought he could do much, but when push came to shove, he didn't. He rejected Jesus 3 times. Yet Jesus Christ came back to Peter and said, do you love me? And Peter was used to preach the first sermon on the day of Pentecost after the resurrection of Jesus. God wants you to know today that you can be covered by his grace. You can be covered by his love. You can be covered by his goodness. God wants you to know that the death of Jesus Christ is essential for your relationship with him. Hallelujah.
Bruh, so this is my first time hearing that with headphones on.
Uh-huh.
Was that God Is?
No, that was Jesus Christ Is the Way.
Okay, all right.
But you know what though? I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of was vibing off of Kanye's album when I made that, and Kanye got that song God Is. So I may have borrowed some of the feeling from that a little bit. Just a little tidbit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it. It's dope.
Thanks, man.
And that's one thing. You worked on your craft. A lot of people, they just rush stuff out just to have stuff out. And I can tell that you took time, and your production is very layered.
Yeah, I you know, that's what I'm saying about the people I've been able to work with over the years. I was held accountable. My man Spragg, my man Bo, all those guys I'm telling you about, they hold you accountable, eh? Nah, that ain't leaving out of here. That's garbage.
Right.
That's trash. Try again, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe next time, buddy. You know what I mean? So there's a level of excellence, you know what I mean, that I definitely pursue. You know what I mean? And it's getting better, man. I got more stuff coming, bro. That's, you know, more stuff coming. But Sean, my time is getting a little short, man. Can I share one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when I was telling you about my experiences at the studio, Unique Recordings, I told you I met my man First. And I told you I was a little leery about First at first. You know, he moved a certain way.
Right.
Well, I said, to this day, man, that's my partner. That's my brother. That's my brother from another mother. We started a management company back in 2006. That's what happened after I had that experience where I told you God brought me from the brink and fed me hand to mouth. My partner First had a record deal with Grand Hustle, with T.I. He had an artist named Governor. Governor's from Richmond, you know what I'm saying? Real dope artist, man. You know, I'm not even going into that, but Governor and 50 Cent started out together with the Trackmasters or whatever. Long story short, First, I ran into First in Norfolk, man. I'll never forget. Ran into him. He's like, yo, what you up to, man? He's like, I heard y'all got divorced or whatever, talking about me and my ex-wife. I heard that, right? I'm like, yeah, man, it's been rough, man. I'm like, congratulations, though. You know, you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Grand Hustle or whatever. Never forget it, man. He said, yo, come with me. He said, yo, come on board with me. My man put me deep in the game on the strength. And I told you, I used to look at him sideways. He know that I used to look at him sideways. You know what I'm saying? But you see how God moves?
Right.
He put me deep, yo. And I became a part of that management team. And from there, we went on and got record deals with Slip and Slide Records. We had an artist named Drew Sidora. We had a Jamaican American rapper named Atiba. You know what I'm saying? On Slip and Slide back in 2008. Long story short, I'm telling you this because it come full circle, man. We've all been doing our own thing to a certain degree, but we've recently got our company back together. Drew is now on Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So anybody out there? Yeah, her name is Drew Sidora. And people love her. She's a hit. But we have our own record label on E1 Entertainment called Eudora Entertainment. That's Drew's label. And we have movies coming out. We got a movie coming out on Easter called And You Call Yourself a Christian.
Okay.
So that's my partner First, and Drew Sidora is like my little sister. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all gonna have to come back on Easter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, matter of fact, I got two songs from that album on that soundtrack.
Okay.
So God is definitely blessing, man. So yeah, man, I'm just, I know people. I don't know if everybody out there. I know some people like, God. Yo, watch me, trust me, and watch me. If God continues to give me breath, just keep watching. Cause I'm gonna convince some people out there that God is real and it ain't what you think. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's better than what you think. That's my mission, Sean. That's my mission, bro. My mission is to shine the light, man. And let people see it for what it is as much as possible, without no fluff, without no pretensions and formalities and traditions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So y'all stay tuned, man. Stay tuned for that. Go ahead, man. I ain't mean to cut you off.
No problem. No problem. Like you said, time is right. Getting ready to wind up on us. I'm gonna take everybody out with the song "I'm Healed." But before I do that,
Sean, check that out. Listen to the lyrics. Like some of the questions you asked me. If y'all listen to the lyrics of "I'm Healed," that's it right there in a nutshell, man. You might get a laugh or two. You might laugh at a couple of things too. So
tell everybody how they can get you, get in touch with you, social media, websites, the whole
man. And I'm so late, man. God is helping me with social media and stuff because I'm getting better though. I'm getting better. But I'm at Moosh Millie MOOSHMILLI_. That's my Instagram. Facebook, Mushran Johnson, MUSHRAN Johnson. And what else? What else is out there? You can find my music, man. About My Father's Business. The album is on all streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? Moosh Da Street Preacher. You know what I'm saying? Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere. So yeah, man. I ain't hard to find, man. DM me, hit me up, man. Talk to me.
That's right. He's a real one. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my time with Moosh Da Street Preacher. We're gonna let you out with the song "I'm Healed."
See, the blood will never lose its power. It's kind of like a Holy Ghost shower. Yeah, let it rain down on me. Thank you, sweet Jesus, for the victory. See, I ain't trying to tell you nothing. Nah, I'm just trying to show you something. Yeah, that this power is the real thing. Get you higher than some loud on a rainy day. You see, I ain't ashamed of my past. That's how you know Moose be kicking real fast. Y'all know the way that I used to be. I might fly up off the handle up in Applebee's. Yeah, but see, Jesus is the real thing. I ain't gotta act hard just to hide the pain. He said, lay it on the altar and I burn it up. Make your soul do a dance, I call that turning up. I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. So real, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. By the way, I'm healed, I'm healed, by the way. So I'm healed, I'm healed. Never felt so free, I feel the anointing is upon me. When I walk up in the room, people look at me. What you looking at? The power of the Holy Ghost is evident. You see, every word I speak is full of relevance. Let this mind be in you that is in Christ. Not double-minded, I ain't gotta think twice. I slayed 10,000 devils like David did. Then I do my little dance like I'm God's favorite. See what you know about Elohim, the Most High God for all eternity. Yeshua HaMashiach, he fulfilled the prophecy. He was the Word made flesh, I call that alchemy. Now when that trumpet sound, you better hit your knees. You better pray for forgiveness and ask God, please. All that tough posturing ain't gonna mean nothing when the first and the last get to mean mugging. I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. So real, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. Hey yo, Moosh, I thank God for your healing. I thank God for your healing. But let me tell the people how they can be healed. I'm coming for the wounded, the depressed, the oppressed, those who've been diseased, overlooked and rejected. I came to be your pusher. I came to let you know that there is a way out. I came to let you know that you don't have to stay in the state that you're in. The word of God declares that this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles. What is the cry? The cry is believe. If thou would just confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shall believe in thy heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. You don't have to remain in the state that you're in. You don't have to remain depressed. You don't have to remain inside of a place of loneliness. God has come to heal you. Just turn from your ways. Come on and submit your ways unto the Lord, and he'll direct your path. He'll make you all new. He'll make you brand new. Come on and be healed. Come on and be restored. Come on and be delivered. Come on and be set free. The Lord is here. He's here. He's beckoning.